Hi, my name is T. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about how I was almost kidnapped. So starting off, this dude, he DM'd me on Instagram, and this was like 2023. I don't remember. I think it was like fall of 2023. So like he DM'd me. You know, he got a couple thousand followers. He does like music and stuff like that. I don't know why during that time I was attracting I was just talking to so many different people that were like SoundCloud rappers, but you know. But anyways, he texted me, you know, I texted back. He texted me again. I think I didn't respond for the rest of the day. I don't know. I don't like dudes that be like, why aren't you responding fast? Listen, I'm not obligated to text you. I'm not obligated to respond to you. So I don't know why you getting all worked up just because I didn't text you back. And this is like, it might have been only like 4 texts up to that point. I think it was the next morning, right? And I had class. I remember the class I was in because we were doing presentations. It was my government class. Basically, he made us do this thing where the chapter, we have to read the chapter, and then at the beginning of the semester, we would each sign up like, oh, which chapter we want to present to the class. And the class was really small. I had like, I think it was supposed to have like 15 people, but there was only like 8 people, and half the time those 8 people never came every single time. So only be like 4 people. It will only be 4 people in the class. So I didn't text them the night before, right? And then it's the next day and I'm going to my government class. It's presentation. So like it's not like we can zone out and just like be on our phones, whatever. So not only did he didn't text me, he called me. And this is on Instagram too, like, and I'm like, we didn't really text that much beforehand. And I was in the front. Okay, listen, this classroom was really small. When I first picked my seats, there was nowhere else to go. Not in the very front, but like the next one there. So the dude called me and I had to decline, and then he DM'd me. He's like, oh, so you declined because you're not fucking with me for real. And I'm just like, we barely talked. I had stuff to do last night. I was tired, but it was a morning class, right? So I had to get up 2 hours early for one, to like do my makeup, to shower, do my skincare, and to get dressed. The dorms where I lived in were not on the main campus, and all the classes are on main campus. So I still have to walk all the way downstairs, walk across to the elevator to the bridges, and go up the elevator so you can get to the bridge, and then go across the bridge so I can go into classes. Okay, that's a good 10 minutes, okay? Anyways, I don't know, he got like mad, or like in the text he seemed like he was mad. I texted him after class and I was like, we had presentations in class and I was in class while you called me. Of course I wasn't gonna pick up the phone. He's like, oh, okay, I guess. And I'm like, first of all, are you even in school? Are you even in college? We continued talking. I think I called him later that night, and then we were just on the phone. He was telling me what he wanted to do, like his passions, whatever. I was telling him what I was in school for, my passions, my hobbies, whatever. We got off the phone. I went to go do something. I don't know, probably some schoolwork. Eventually got to the end of the semester. I remember it being winter break. I was back home in my city, right? And then he texted me. He's like, oh, I'm finna be in your city. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's like, do you want to link up? And I'm like, yeah, like we should link up. And before we even had this conversation, he was talking about, oh, I gotta take you on a date. Like, I gotta take you, like, where should we go? Like, maybe we should go to an arcade or bowling or whatever. So fast forward, right? You know, he texted me. He's like, oh, I'm in your city. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's like, when are you free? I'm like, I'm free this day. So he's like, oh, that's cool. You know, I'm gonna be in your city because my friend, I swear he said it was something like his friend of a friend, like they were in town because of a funeral or something. Anyways, it gets to the day before and he's like, I looked at some bowling spots in your area. He's like, oh, we can go here. It's kind of like near where you said you were at. I'm like, oh, that's cool. We can go here. We can meet up here. It's a pretty cool place. Like, they got a bar, they got food, they have an arcade, and they have bowling. And that's like 20 minutes away from my house. So it's the day before, and he's like, he said it so weird. He was like, here's my address. I'm like, okay. He just sent me the address. Like, he didn't say, no, pick me up. No, oh, can you pick me? He didn't ask me a question. He just sent the address. The day before, he never directly said, oh, can you pick me up? He just asked me, do you have a car? And I'm like, yeah, I have a car. And I thought he was asking it, like wondering if he has to pick me up. And I'm like, no, I can drive myself. Like, I can meet you there. And then the conversation ended on the phone the day before. So then fast forward, he sent me the next day, he sent me the address in text, and I'm like, why is he sending me his address? I don't know, it was really weird. I search up the address and like you don't really see much, and I'm like, I'm trying to see where it's at. Him and his friends are like way down south. So I'm like, oh, is he in the middle of nowhere? Like, this ain't Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Finna massacre me, you and your friends? Not me. You ain't finna get me. Not only did I put it in Google Maps, I put it in Google Earth, right? To kind of like see, to like scope the scenery out, right? And once I put it in Google Earth, I'm like looking around and I'm like, I see a building. You know what the building says? A dumpster facility. A dumpster facility? Why is that the address? So I'm like, okay, maybe it's the wrong one. Maybe it's like a house, and then you won't see a house for a good like half a mile. There was no neighborhood. So I'm like, you're not even in the city. You're not even in any type of like city. That's the second red flag. I don't care what economic background you come from, but it's even two, you're not even in the hood. You in the middle of nowhere. You in the middle of nowhere. Like, you're not even in the hood, you're not even in the city, you're in the middle of nowhere. There's just like one house and then there's just fields. And then the address he gave me that he pinned for me in the messages was a dumpster facility. So anyways, I like get ready. I was so non-confrontational back then. Now I'm confrontational. Like now if I feel a way, I'm gonna say it like in the moment. But then I brushed it off. I'm like, oh, okay. So he texts me, he's like, okay, we can go around this time. So I'm like, okay. So then a couple hours before that, the time that we set up to link up, I start getting ready, whatever. But then like I'm getting nervous, and I'm like, I don't even get nervous. I never get nervous before like meeting somebody. Bro, my heart was going pitter-patter, pitter-patter. I don't know why I was nervous, right? But he's like, can you pick me up? And I'm like, what do you mean pick you up? What do you mean? You're asking like the day of right now? And you didn't want to ask beforehand when we set it all up. I'm like, what be going through their minds? What be going through their heads? Like, do y'all not think ahead? I wouldn't have judged him if he didn't have a car or whatever, but I would have been like, well, if you finna take me out, I'm not finna go like pick you up. So I call him, we get on the phone, and I'm like, what do you mean like pick you up? Like, from going to your address and then going all the way back where he picked, right? He picked this place to go bowling because he said it would be like closer to me, or like we can meet up there, right? Why would I go pick you up and you're south and the place that we're going is even north of where I'm staying at? It's like 20 minutes out. I thought he was gonna be like downtown, so like we both have to go maybe 20-25 minutes to the place that he selected to go bowling, to link up. But no, you want me to go pick you up and you're an hour from where I stay at, and then you want me to go an hour back and then 20 minutes out? That's over 2 hours. And during that time, my parents were out, so like they took the car. So the only car we had was my grandma's car that we got after she passed. And my sister's like, oh, can you take me here? It was just too much going on. It was too much. So then like we end up just not, I can't take her to her friend's house. And then I'm like calling a dude. I'm like, listen, I didn't tell him what was going on, but I'm just like, I'm not finna drive an hour down and then drive an hour back up and then 20 minutes out just to link up with you. Especially when you pick the place, like knowing you don't have a ride at all, and you pick the place for us to link up to go bowling. This was your idea. So then he's like, oh, well, like I can just pay you. And I'm like, pay me? Bro, that's when I knew my heart sank. I was already nervous and like fidgety, like getting ready like 2 hours beforehand, like meeting him. But you are not gonna pay no Uber. You're not gonna pay no Lyft, but you finna pay me? That's when it clicked. I'm like, oh, you really want me to come see you then? Huh? In the middle of nowhere. in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable like picking up a stranger. Like it's not like, it wasn't even like a dude that went to my school or that went to my college. It wasn't a dude that went to my old high school. He was just some random dude on Instagram that followed me. We didn't have no mutuals, none of that. Once he said, I can pay you, and I'm like, okay, you finna kidnap me. He's like, oh, well, my friends can like take him halfway to where I stay at. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable of you knowing where I stay at. Why, if we're going out to link to meet at a place, why would I feel comfortable enough knowing that you know where I live? No. You think I'll feel more comfortable? I didn't feel comfortable. I did not feel comfortable. I'm like, nah, bro, I don't know you, so why would I give you my address? Because I think he thought the problem was me driving an hour down to pick him up. It is that, but it's also I don't know you. That shit is just so crazy. He thought it would be better for not him to get an Uber or a Lyft, but for his friends to take him to my spot, and then we drive from my spot to the bowling alley. Do that sound right to you? That don't sound right. That don't sound right. I'm like, yeah, no, I just don't feel comfortable picking you up, like picking up a stranger. I don't know you at all, and this is our first time linking up, and you want me to pick you up? Like, it's not even someone that you like go to my school, or like a friend knows you, or like you know someone that knows me. Like, you are a random. You're a randomly spawned. So he's like, oh, all right, I guess. And then he ended the call. I'm like, what the fuck? Which he picked the place, mind you. He picked the place for us to go meet at. I don't know why you pick a place that far. And even if he knew, like, oh, I don't know why, he could have changed it. Like, but I don't know. Here's the lesson. If you feel nervous, red flag. Listen to the alarms, because your body will feel nervous your body won't feel nervous around people who make you safe. Oh, you have butterflies? It doesn't mean you're feeling them. You got butterflies because you were scared. Your body, your nervous system is scared. It's in fight or flight. But I'm feeling nervous meeting you, and like, even when we get on the phone, I'll never be nervous like talking to him on the phone, or like getting to like talk to him on the phone. But like when it came to meeting up with him, I just felt mad nervous, and that is a red flag. That's a red flag. Don't go on a date with him. Don't get in a car with him. Don't go pick him up. Save your money, save your gas. Lesson learned. At least I didn't get kidnapped, because a dumpster facility, a trash facility that you sent as your address to pick you up is crazy. And it's in the middle of nowhere. It's not in the city. It's in the middle of nowhere. No houses, none of that. So I'm glad I never went, but thank you for listening. That is the story time on how I almost got kidnapped. I didn't actually get kidnapped, but like that shit was just crazy. Like that is some crazy ass shit. Like but anyways, thank you for watching the video. I will see you in the next one. Follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok. I talk about a lot of stuff on there. I'll see you in the next one.